What is Gobeshona? Gobeshona is a consortium of now 25 organizations. You can see the logos up on the screen, which consists of a set of national and international research institutions, public and private universities, NGOs, private sector who do research work. It's open to anybody, any institution that does research on climate change to join. And over the last couple of years, we have had, as I said, around 25 member institutions. It has three major objectives. The first one is to improve the quality of research being done in Bangladesh, particularly focusing on climate change research, focusing on capacity building for young researchers. And we're very pleased that we got a grant from USAID. The second objective of Gobeshona is to share knowledge and experience, particularly research findings with the research community itself, which is a sizable community in the many hundreds, if not thousands of researchers, faculty members in universities, researchers working in various other organizations. And we do this in several ways. One of the ways we do it is through a web platform called gobeshona.net. I just checked it this morning before I came in here, and there are now exactly 1,000 publications on that platform. And by publications, I mean we actively search for new publications, which have to be both on climate change and Bangladesh. The second activity that we do in the website, on the web portal, is we share information on ongoing research. So young researchers, PhD students, postdocs, not masters, but higher level researchers who are doing a research project that is meant to end in a publication. And the third and final way in which we share and distribute information is we have a monthly seminar, Gobeshona seminar, which is hosted in turn by one of our partner organizations, and we've had about 15 of these already over the last year and a half. Each month, one of our partner organizations hosts it. It's meant to bring some research work that has been completed by young researchers, either from the host institution or some other institution. And then we have this annual conference. So the conference itself is a 5-day event. We are now on the third day of that conference. The last 2 days, the day before yesterday, as I said, was the last day of the Young Researchers Workshop of the researchers who started last year and finished the day before yesterday. We will have a certificate award ceremony for them on the evening of the 11th at dinner, which you are all invited to as well. Yesterday, we had 30 new researchers who have been selected, who have applied for and been selected for the second round of the Young Researcher Program. We had a full day workshop with them on how to prepare their manuscripts for publication. Not how to do the research, but how to get it published. And today we are starting the conference itself, which is a 3-day event of a science conference. It will consist of plenary events like this, and then a number of parallel sessions on different topics. Each topic is hosted by one of our partner institutions. And on the last day, which is the 5th day of the 5 days, which is the 11th of January, we have what we call the Science Policy Dialogue Day. On that day, we will be inviting, and we're very pleased to say that they have accepted our invitations, some very senior government policymakers. I'm going to pick on a few things that we highlighted from last year, at the end of the last year's conference, and mention what we've been doing with them since. And I won't make it an exhaustive list, but I'll pick out 5 particular key items. The first one was the idea that we now have a lot of activities on climate change. We have a lot of knowledge generation on climate change. We are at a stage where Bangladesh needs to start thinking about mainstreaming that into national plans. And we're very pleased that the Planning Commission, particularly the member of the General Economics Division, who was in charge of the 7th 5-year plan, and I'm now working on the Delta plan, very kindly offered to engage with us, with the scientific community. The second similar type of activity is with the Ministry of Finance, particularly the Economic Resources Division of the Ministry of Finance, who are charged with national climate finance management now. They are the designated national authority for the Green Climate Fund, and they are building their own capacities and help build the capacities of other agencies within government and outside government to attract international funding on climate change. The third element that I will highlight, and it's very fortunate for us to have as our chief guest here today, Her Excellency Madame Sophie Aubert, the Ambassador of France. She was also the chief guest at the previous one a year ago. At that time, it was before COP21 in Paris. Now it is after COP21 in Paris, and I can see many faces of people here who were in Paris at the COP, and I have a very pleasant duty to report that we had a very good agreement. The fourth and semi-final issue that I'll pick up on, which we picked up last year, and I want to report some progress on it, is the twin issue of migration and urbanization. One of the things that we saw when we had the sessions last year was that we had a session on migration, which became almost a session on urbanization, and then we had a session on urbanization, which became almost a session on migration. So the two are interlinked. In the case of Bangladesh, you can't really separate them. And so since then, there's been quite a lot of work that's been happening here. And then the final, fifth and final area that I'll mention is something that all countries are now beginning to engage with. As countries develop their national adaptation or climate change plans, both mitigation and adaptation, as they now go to implement these plans, one of the critical elements of implementation is how do they manage both the generation of new knowledge and the utilization of good research in the implementation of the plans, whether they be mitigation or adaptation. And in the case of Bangladesh, this Gobeshona initiative is in and of itself a knowledge management system.